meeting to order. Greetings everyone, past district governors in the house, PDG Mohan, PDG Joshua Hassan, assistant governors and presidents, trailblazing presidents the world over, past presidents, fellow Rotarians and guests. I wish to welcome you to this meeting. It's a meeting jointly hosted by the Rotary Club of Abuja Federal and the Rotary Club of Abuja Ministers Hill, in collaboration with PPVJ. Thank you very much for helping us put this up. And today we will be discussing issues of maternal mortality. But before we go into all that, I would like us to have a minute of silence, a silent invocation, so that we pray to God in our faith, after which we'll take the national anthem of the two countries present. So can we have a minute of silence? All right, amen. So we will go ahead to have the PPVJ. I don't know if you have the national anthems.
You can connect it. You have the right.
Okay.
Yeah. There's some problem with my end.
Get it. It's taking some time. All right, thank you very much.
I'll go.
PPVJ.
Yeah, I'll go to the other one.
Okay.
Wait a minute.
All right.
Yes, we can continue, President.
Okay, so thank you very much for giving us the national anthems of our two great countries. I would like to call on my trailblazing president, John Omosu, to give us the object of Rotary. Veteran TP John, you have the floor. Give us the object of Rotary.
Okay, yes. Thank you, my president, fellow Rotarians, and guests in the house. Before we test of the things, the object of Rotary is to encourage and foster the ideal of service. Please hold on. The object of Rotary is to encourage and foster the ideal of service as a basis of worthy enterprise, and in particular, to encourage and foster, first, the development of acquaintance as an opportunity for service. Second, high ethical standards in business and professions, the recognition of the worthiness of all useful occupations, and the dignifying of each Rotarian's occupation as an opportunity to serve society. Third, the application of the ideal of service in each Rotarian's personal, business, and community life. Fourth, the advancement of international understanding, goodwill, and peace through a world fellowship of business and professional persons united in the ideal of service. The object of Rotary, my president.
Thank you very much, TP John, for giving us the object of Rotary. For our guests in the house, the object of Rotary just tells us about the code of ethics that Rotarians stand by. I would like to then call on PPVJ to give us the four-way test.
Thank you, my president. Good evening, Rotarians and friends. The four-way test of the things we think, say, and do. Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendship? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? The four-way test, my president. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, PPVJ, for giving us the four-way test. I would like to talk to us about this month. We'll be having a lot. Last month was Rotary's Maternal and Child Mortality Prevention Month. We, as Rotarians globally, are committed to, in this month, trying to do projects which help to relieve the burden of the deaths of women needlessly during pregnancy. And a lot is being done globally. And we decided that it would be good for us to have a global contextual reasoning of what actually happens in developing countries. As our guest speaker will enlighten us, you'll see that maternal mortalities vary across the world. And in Nigeria, we're about 814. I think India has about 27 per 100,000 live births. So our speaker, when he's properly introduced, will go into the depth of all that. I would like to, at this point, recognize the presence of our district governor-elect, Ayo Ayodokun. Thank you for coming and joining this meeting. We're glad to have you.
Thank you very much.
I also want to thank all those who are able to make it from either side of the aisle for being here and taking time out to join us in this meeting. Without further ado, I'd like us to go to give IPP Diana, please, can you give a brief citation of our guest speaker?
My president, district governor-elect, trailblazing president, fellow Rotarians, guests and friends of Rotary, I would like to give an abbreviated version of our guest speaker. profile. Rotarian Professor Dr. Mohan Chandavarkar, excuse me if I didn't pronounce that right, is a postgraduate from the GS Medical College and GIM Hospital. He is a consultant gynecologist, and his tagline, laboring to deliver excellence since 1985, has been used to serve the people of Tain as a consultant. He's an associate professor at a medical college in Tain, where he teaches undergraduates and postgraduates. Doctor is not just all books, he's also a sportsman that loves to play badminton, basketball, amongst other, cricket, amongst other sports. He's a publisher, a seasoned writer, and an award winner of several papers and theses and a textbook. He has a column in the local newspapers where he writes monthly. He's a poet, he's a writer, he likes drafting cartoons, and he's known for his excellence. He spent 53 years in Rotary, starting from his days as Chartered Secretary of the Interact Club of Mumbai, Scottish, in 1968. Oh, wow. He served as district trainer all the way in 2016, 2017, and as governor in 2019, 2020. My president, fellow Rotarians, I have the honor of presenting to you today our guest speaker. Thank you.
Can I share my screen?
Yes, you can.
Can you see the screen? No. One second.
Yes, we can.
You can see the screen. One second.
Yeah, but you have to just make it full screen. Yes.
One second. One second. One second. This thing is not common yet, no?
It is come on, but it's only showing the first. It's very small screen actually.
I'll just put that screen. One second. Just give me a moment. Is it okay now?
Yeah. Yeah, perfect.
Good evening, all Rotarians. I'm come here with mixed feelings. I'm so happy to come and say hi to new friends. At the same time, I'm sad because we're going to be discussing such a bad topic about death amongst women and children all across the world. Friends, at the outset, let me say hi to PDG Joshua, DG Ayo, DGN Kailash. Then I bring greetings to you from District 314 to 3,500 Rotarians over 90 clubs and 1.5 lakh Rotarians from India. I see a lot of my friends who are about to burn the midnight oil from 3142. Thank you for coming and joining us in this particular event. Friends, when you talk about maternal mortality, how many of you all saw in the BBC or in the CNN said that a Mexican metro train crashed, and it crashed into an overpass and 26 people died? That became headlines for that day, breaking news. But do you know, if a plane crashes and 200 people die, it becomes headlines. If 6 people are climbing Mount Everest and they die, they become headlines. But when you are having a maternal mortality, which is occurring at a huge rate, almost 800 and odd people dying, because it becomes routine, because it becomes standard, people don't think about it. It becomes a part and parcel of a statistics. I'll just come to a little bit details later on. But the key factor is every day 810 people have died, although the maternal mortality rate has dropped by 38%. And 94% of those mothers dying were in low income or low middle income countries. Very young mothers or very old mothers, they had a problem. But having said that, what is the saving grace? The saving grace is that if skilled care can be given before, during, or after the childbirth, it can save the lives of the mother and it can save the lives of the children also. Just to give you a figure of how much are we dealing with. Every year, annually, 83 million children are born in the world. Every day, 2 lakh children born. That means you just get that figure of one being born every now and then. Before you count, you can count yourself. Just keep counting, sorry. Just keep counting and you'll realize that by the time you finish counting, the world's population has gone up that much more. That is the kind of population that's happening. And that is the kind of enormity of the problem. In Nigeria, there are 7 million births a year. That means every child being born every 4.5 seconds. In India, there are 22 million births. That is one birth every 1.4 seconds, which adds to a whopping 7.9 billion as of today. Fellow Nigerians, please watch this. In 2100, India's population would have gone from 1.38, stabilized at 1.09. But Nigeria's population would have gone from 200 million to 791 million to become the largest population next to India in the world. That's scary, and that's the need of the hour. We need to do something about it. In India, if you see, the maternal mortality very correctly mentioned by President Patrick in Nigeria is 814. In India, it's 113. But I'd like to see this. These are few countries that are around Nigeria, which is called the sub-Saharan area. When South Sudan, 1,150 women die every 100,000 live births. In Chad, it's 1140. In Sierra Leone, it's 1120. At the absolute other side of the spectrum, Finland, Greece, Iceland, and Poland, they have 3 deaths for every 100,000 live births, which means that we are dealing with a problem of the developing countries. The Sustainable Development Goals of 2030 mention that they want to bring this figure from 113 or 814 to 70, and that no country in the world should have anything above 140. We are just 9 years away from that. I seriously doubt we can make it because the problems are huge. The mortality happening in India, we have 45,000 deaths. In Nigeria, 58,000 deaths. You can see the figures, 1 in every 12 minutes, 1 in every 9 minutes. These are figures of 2015. Although now it might be a little better, but it's still scary that it's not going to go away by just wishing it. Talking about infant mortality, annually 2.4 million children die at the rate of 28 in India per 1,000 live births and 58 in Nigeria per 1,000 live births. The under 5 mortality is 117, which means that 1 in 10 children in Nigeria will not see their 5th year. That is scary, friends. Now, what are the sustainable goals that are expected? They want the world figure to come to 12. So we have to go from 58 to 12. We want the figure from 117 to come to 25. Everybody, it's not going to be easy, but it can be done. I'll just come to that. These are the causes of child mortality: prematurity, birth asphyxia, birth defects, malnutrition, pneumonias, birth, all these, many of these are preventable. Congenital malformations also, if you take care, are preventable to some extent, not completely, but to some extent. So when you talk about maternal mortality, you'll find that wherever we are dealing with it, there are certain medical errors that happen and certain organizational errors that happen. And how we're going to learn about that is we're going to use the 6 wives and 1 husband. What, why, where, when, which, whom it happens, and how it happens, and how we can manage it. I'm going to go a little quickly because these are lots of details, but suffice to say that across the world, this problem is there. Severe bleeding creating a problem. What is the role that we can do? We have to make people aware of it. We have to train the people. And this is a wonder drug that has come in. It's called misoprostol 600 micrograms. There are medications called oxytocics which need to be given by injection. So that becomes the limitation. Somebody needs to know how to give an injection. But misoprostol given by a 600 micrograms, either given orally or rectally or through the vagina, this can prevent bleeding and can reduce the number of deaths happening because of bleeding. Blood transfusion can happen. So you need blood available. You need blood banks available. Primarily anemia, where the hemoglobin of the patient is low, that can create a problem. So what we can do is you can have camps. I'll come to that a little later, where you give a very safe injectable iron sucrose to the patient as a bolus, 1 shot. And that does, even if she doesn't take the medicine subsequently, orally, her hemoglobin will be better. If her hemoglobin is better, her bleeding chances, which she'll be able to tolerate bleeding much better. Increased BP can give rise to a problem. Labor problems. That if you don't have a patient should deliver, but suppose she can't, then you land up with the obstructed labor. And these people then subsequently, they land up with something called vaginal fistulas, which I'm given to understand in Nigeria is a huge problem. Infections can give a problem. So good hygiene practices and early detection can give a safety to the mothers. Unsafe abortions. I don't know what the scene in Nigeria is, but unsafe abortions was a very large problem in India till in 1971. There was an MTP Act where abortions were legalized and were available to everybody in a very safe manner. And that made a huge difference to the number of people getting killed. Organizational errors, you have problems of what is called the 3 delay model. The first delay is in recognizing complications and decision-making of transferring a patient. The second delay is accessing appropriate care. Means you need the transport, you need to have some communication. The last is, which is a delay even after the person has gone to the place, then an anesthetist is not available, a pediatrician is not available, or a blood bank is not available, or an operation theater is not available. Or even if they are available, there are some problems that happen. That's why women can die. The first delay, which we can solve, is by these methods. The first one is training. Training, and more training. The more aware the people are, a patient is to be made aware that these are the problems she can have. The medical people, personnel who can do the needful, can be trained to realize where that complication is and how to make that decision. Where you can use local bodies to help out, to find out and train local people so they can do the needful. This is the counter for the delay. The second delay is, see this ambulance. It's a makeshift ambulance, but it will get a pace from one place to the other. In India, at a certain place called Jawar, where we had done a maternal mortality reduction program from 2012 to 2015. And we realized this problem was solved by the district administration having something like a Uber service. There were many jeeps which were contracted, and they were given mobiles. And like they were found out, where is this jeep? This is in this area. Okay, you go and pick up the woman, bring her to the hospital. So that increased the hospital deliveries and that reduces the mortality. Communication network, grassroots employees. We call them ASHA workers. We call them auxiliary nurse midwives. They were trained and given communication cell phones. So they could communicate with the primary health center and that also brought down the number of deaths. Delay 3 is at the institution. Now, this is not so easy. There's a concept called triage. Triage is nothing but you give attention to the person who most deserves it in the time factor it is to be given. Like, for example, if you have a woman who is about to rupture, she needs to be taken first. If she's bleeding a little bit, she can be taken a little later. If she is having a BP problem, you can take care of the BP problem and then look after her. Protocols and drills at the level of the institution, training programs need to be conducted for everybody, for doctors, for nurses, for auxiliary people, for the administration, to find out that this kind of patient comes, how do you manage? You need proper staffing, you need proper training. Easier said than done. So what is done? So we have a group called CalMed who have tried to figure out, and Rotary District 3142, along with Thane Obstetric Gynec Society. I forgot to tell you, I also bring greetings from 300 fellow gynecologists in the Thane Obstetric Gynec Society of Thane. And we can go for this model. It's called this kind of a model. You do data collection, you train in emergency obstetric and neonatal services, you do a care pathway mapping, and you go for a women's group training. I'm going to go a little fast because there are lots of details on this, which probably for a first timer, whoever's listening, would be a bit too much. So I'll just tell you where the highlights whenever possible. As a data collection, you need to collect data, what is the number of people in this area, what are the facilities, how many anesthetists are there, how many pediatricians are there, how many blood banks are there, how many children are happening, what is the rate, the average of the nation might be 814. But in this particular region, is it more? In this particular desert area, is it more? In the mountainous area, is it more? And you need part-time workers to do this. Training is done on a WHO model. There are 7 core modules and additional modules can be given, which talks about basic resuscitation, newborn care, and something called partograph. That is how you monitor the patient in labor. It's done with lectures, skills, training, case models, and local adaptation. When we did the program in India, we had got models where you can show a person who has nothing to do with obstetrics, how you can deliver a patient, how you can remove the placenta, what happens if there is bleeding, what happens if the heart sounds keep going up and down. Women's group, this, my friend, is the success story. Women's group in the local, we have a lot of what we call these bachat groups. They're basically self-employed and working their own economic model. They can be used. Everybody whoever is anybody can help. Innerville can help. Rotary Community Course can help. Rotractors can help. Rotary can act as a facilitator to bear the expense of the training, and so on and so forth. This mapping which is done, like I said, basic ambulance, cell phone, medications, health workers, funding responsibilities, and so on and so forth. How do you bring them? Get the support of your media. I'm given to understand that Nollywood, that is Nigerian Bollywood, is the second largest after India in terms of making movies. So if you can get celebrity endorsements, that makes a huge difference in the end result. Now let me talk a little bit about this global grant. A global grant vocational training team had come from 1120 from England, these few people, and we hosted them here. What we did was create a training of the trainers. Trainers went into the field and taught the grassroots people. And that, my friends, I'm proud to tell you, in 2000, we had only one small district as a pilot project. What we did was, we had antenatal camps. We tied up with the Organization of Pharmaceutical Producers of India, who ran those camps. They did hemoglobin testing. They gave intravenous iron sucrose. So anemia didn't become a problem. We created a rota for anesthetists who would go there and serve, pediatricians who would go there and serve, obstetricians who would go there and serve. We had a satellite blood bank created there where the blood could be used. And I'm proud to tell you, friends, although it was a small area that we looked after, we had a mortality rate of 104 in 2012-13. It came down to 0 in 2015-16. I'm not sure whether this can be replicated at a national level, but suffice to say that everything has to start small. a giant step, also a giant leap for mankind starts with a small step for men. So that makes a huge difference. Then they came back and checked out, and that is why a global grant VTT is very much possible. This can be done by the clubs, or it can be done by the district, or it can be done by funding from the TRF. If you wish to, this experience is with us, it's with England, whomever you wish to. My team from TOGS, as gynecologists, we are committed to it. We can always help you guys out. No, nothing can be done on our own. So Rotary International has their own things cut out. Communities have to self-help themselves. Government has a very, very large role to play, because without this, it's not possible to do. And professional groups, which in your place, if you have medical schools, if you have organizations like gynecologists, anesthetists coming together, local doctors, nurses, they can help a lot. Now, Patrick and John, you might ask me, this is a lot of high funda. We didn't understand how it is, but what can we do? And that's where I come to. What can we do? You can get a global grant application. You can do that. Get funding from the Rotary Foundation so that they can give you whatever you need. You need a blood bank to be set up. They could give you the equipment. You need antenatal dummies to be provided. That can be done. You can have volunteers coming to teach you. That can be done. You can have professional volunteers given a training program. That can be done. You can conduct awareness programs. That can be done. If you arrange antenatal camps and IV sucrose camps, that will reduce the anemia, like I told you earlier. You can arrange for blood donation drives. You can start a blood bank. Many clubs in India have done that. You can have a vocational training team, like I said, is very effective. This also can be a great help, because I'm here to understand that people are delivering many, many children. If they are allowed to bring down the number of children that they're delivering, the more you deliver, the more you are at risk of getting postpartum hemorrhage, and you can die because of that. And like I said, in India, we've had a sustainable campaign over the years, and legalization of abortion has helped to reduce the number of people dying because of unsafe abortions. I don't know whether it will be acceptable legally as a community, as a religion. I have no idea. That you will have to work it out for yourself. But that's what we can do. And why do I believe you can do it? Patrick, PDG Joshua, DGEIO, because Rotarians have the resources, they have the opportunity, they have the networking, they have the aptitude, they have the resilience, and they have the yen, or the desire to do something. Because we believe in service above self, and we believe in doing good in the world. And why would my other group of obstetrician help? Because they're tireless, they can give their obstetric experience to bring the goal of the sustainable development goal into a reality by saving mothers and saving children. The woods are lovely, dark and deep, but I have promises to keep, and miles to go before I sleep, and miles to go before I sleep. This, our President of India, Abdul Kalam, used to say, dreams are not that what you get in your sleep. Dreams are what make you not sleep, because you're wondering, what is the next thing that I can do? How can I alleviate the suffering of my sister or my potential nephew, son, or child in the future? My friends, if you have any problems, you can always contact me, or just tell Vijay, the honorary Indian who is looming large across Africa. You just tell him, and we'll be there to do whatever you wish to. Thank you very much for a very patient listening, and God bless you guys.
Wow. Thank you very much, PDG Mohan, Dr. Mohan, for that expansive lecture. I learned a lot. I learned so much from your presentation. And this is because a lot of the issues you have pinpointed are issues that we are also struggling with. So I thank you very much. We will move to the question and answer session. PPVJ, can you help us coordinate the question and answer session?
Yes. Friends, before we go to the question and answer session, I would like to welcome our PDG Dr. Venkat Gadwal from our district and DG and Satish Omana from district 3160. Welcome. Now,
Vijay,
friend.
Vijay,
Yeah.
I would like to tell my friends here that PDG Venkat Gadwal was a DG in 90, 91. He is 80 plus, but he has the energy to come at 10:30 and bless you guys and bless me.
Friends, now the session is open for question and answer. Anybody who wishes to ask a question can just raise his hand. We will ask him to unmute and ask the question. Anybody who has a question can raise his hand.
Not a problem. In case they have any questions subsequently, they can write to me on the email also. Not a problem.
You can forward it through me also. No?
Yeah, I can do that.
Okay.
Dr. Mohan, I would just like to tell you, Patrick had led one global garage project for maternal health with around 6 clubs. I think it is still in the pipeline, and we had also tied up with a Canadian club for foreign funding for that.
Patrick, can you tell us a little more details about it?
Well, yes. So the Global Grant is an initiative of 5 clubs, and the target is to help equip the primary healthcare facilities, 5 primary healthcare facilities, to bring them up to standard, up to global standard, so that, because we've noticed that in Nigeria, we have a lot of maternal mortality happening because the primary healthcare centers don't have the capacity to take the deliveries that they're supposed to. And by the time they are referred to the bigger hospitals, that delay results in a lot of
exactly what I mentioned mortality. About 3 delay concept.
Yes. Yeah, so we wanted, the grant is aimed at ensuring that they have the equipment to provide safe delivery. It also will include training, periodic training of the midwives and nurses working in that facility to ensure that they can provide the services, and then provide things like portable ultrasound scan and training, so that they can be able to ensure that they make those diagnoses quickly and refer when they are in doubt. And also, because of the fact that a lot of them don't have adequate communication, we want to ensure that they can communicate with coordinators who are doctors in the Rotary group supervising the grants, to ensure that they can easily get referrals to other hospitals quickly or other providers, and so the patients can get the services that they require. So that's basically the concept. But
Patrick, you know, in this model that we have done in Jawar, the jeeps which were run by drivers were private jeeps. They were not government employees, but they were given an incentive that every time they brought a patient, they would get so much money.
Wow.
So that saved a lot of lives. Some of the Rotary clubs, what they did was they provided the grassroots workers with phones, cell phones, and with cell phones. So those cell phones made a difference in the communication. So if you tie up with a cell phone provider or a cell phone, the SIM card provider, and ask them to donate a few, I think that can go a long way.
Wow, that's excellent. So thank you very much.
Just as a, whenever there's a training program, I tell people, each and every Rotarian, like Vijay, Patrick, John, Joshua, anybody, Ifomo, Diana, everybody has an ID number. John Omerson, you would be having a Rotary ID number. And I say that Rotary ID number should be like mine. I changed my ID number to 247365. 247365, which means that I'm available 24/7, 365 for Rotary. That's my commitment to maternal mortality reduction. So if you have any problem at any time, if you believe that I can help out, you just call me. I'll try to help out.
Dr. Patrick, Dr. Mohan and his team are willing to come there if the need be. I think DG IO would be glad to take it up. DG IO, your comments on this, please. DG IO, are you online? Yes.
DGEIO.
I think we may have lost him.
Good evening.
Yeah, good.
And it's happy to have been under the speaking engagement today of our past district governor, Rotarian Mohan Chandavarkar. It was indeed an enlightened discussion that was made today, and I'm quite happy that I did not miss the meeting. So I just want to say that I've been quite enlightened, concerning maternity and infant mortality, that concerns all as developing countries. And one of the unique things is that we normally call India a developing country, but I think that they are more than a developing country right now. But, and Nigeria too is trying to put its place, in the league of countries, that are reducing maternity and infant mortality to its barest minimum. So I believe that we'll continue to partner with one another so that the effort of reducing this mortality rates, can be improved upon. And we as Rotarians that are people of actions, then we would be able to achieve this the more. So I want to say thank you for this discussion of today, and also to the clubs that organized this as a joint meeting. I'm proud of you all, and I hope we can do more of this, so that we can have more twinning amongst our club. Thank you very much. Also to DGN Kalish that joined the meeting today. I want to appreciate you as well. And DGN Fumina as well that came in to join this meeting. Thank you all. And also all our wonderful friends from all the districts. Sorry, this is not a vote of thanks, but I just want to quickly acknowledge all of them. Thank you very much. And over to you.
Thank you. We can take up a vocational training program in your year, DGIO, for this.
That would be very lovely, sir.
Yes, President Patrick, back to you. President Patrick, you can take over, please.
Okay. I would like to especially recognize the presence of DG again, DG Oyedoku, Rotary Club President from Rotary Club of Abuja, the Ambassadors, Rotary Roy Stanley, Rotary Richard Asukwo from Rotary Club of Jabi. I also would like to appreciate Rotary Club of Sunday, Rotary Club of Milimani, Rotary Club of Ten Royal, Rotary Club of Maluba, Rotary Club of Ten North, Rotary Club of Rubaga Lakeview, Rotary Club of Kampala Kewampe, and Rotary Club of Oshanaga. We thank you all for sharing fellowship with us. Also, the District Chair, District 9125 Mobilization, Rotary and Treasurer, we're happy to have you. Our past District Governor, Joshua Hassan, District Governor for Follow Your Rotary Dream, 1998-1999. We thank you very much for sharing fellowship with us. Our Assistant Governor Jumoke Ekeide, we're happy to have you. President-elect of Abuja Ministers Hill, Rotary and BC Teru, we're happy to have you. President nominee, Rotary and Martin, we thank you for sharing fellowship online. Past President Catherine and all other fellow Rotarians sharing fellowship with us, we thank you very much. Over to you, my President Patrick.
Okay, thank you very much, TP John, for coming in. I had a brief network challenge. In addition, I also want to recognize my President-elect, Frances. Thank you for coming and joining in online. PAG Treasurer, our District Chair for Welfare. Thank you for joining in. PAG Jumoke, I can see you. She's the age of my club. Thank you for joining in. I also want to recognize PAG Koyona Duke, one of the past presidents of my club, and every other Rotarian and guests. Okay, I can see some guests. Dr. Esther, thank you for coming in, for joining in the meeting, and every other person who took out time to join this meeting. We really appreciate you. We have a certificate for you, our dear PDG Mohan.
Patrick, before you finish, we have with us, Asha, can you put on your video, please?
Okay.
We have Dr. Asha Karkanes, one of my colleagues from TOGS. I don't know whether she's there, but
she is here, but she's not starting the video.
please carry on. Please carry on.
I would, President Patrick, if you allow me to do some recognition from our end.
Oh, yeah, okay. Why not? PPVJ, you have the floor. Please go ahead.
Yeah. As I said, I would like to again recognize the presence of PDG Dr. Venkat Gadwal, DGN Kailash, DGN Meena Satish. Then we have President Philip from Rotary Club of Tema Meridian. We have President Catherine from Rotary Club of Sonde, and along with her team of 10 people, Emmanuel, Doreen, Barasa and all. And we have from our district, we have past president Achyut Bosekar, we have past president Lalit Manik, we have past president Manoranjan, we have Ranjana Save, we have Gulab Keval Ramani, we have past president Prakash Shah, we have Prosper Ashkia from Rotary Club of Accra Industrial, and I'm sorry, we have past president Praveen Parmar from Rotary Club of Malubu, Zambia. I think I'm missing. If I'm missing anybody else, kindly forgive me, or you can raise your hand. Thank you, President.
Okay, thank you very much, PPVJ, for the introduction, and to all our guests and friends who have joined in that we didn't recognize. Our apologies. We love you and we appreciate the sacrifice you made to join this meeting. We have a certificate we made between the two clubs to recognize you, our PDG. Our PPVJ, I don't know if you can put it up for him.
Yeah, just a minute.
We'll make sure you get the copy. Each time you see it, remember the Rotary Clubs of Abuja Federal and Abuja Ministers Hill. Thank you very much. We appreciate you, our guest speaker, for making our time to educate us on this topic.
I am not taking
Okay, so that's the yeah, that's the certificate. Yeah, thank you very much. I'd like to.
I will. Yeah, you can call somebody to read it.
Okay, no, please go ahead, my PPV.
Yeah. Rotary Club of Abuja Federal and Rotary Club of Abuja, the Ministers Hill, certificate of appreciation to Dr. Mohan Chandavarkar. Recognition of your impact in our online meeting for May, tag reducing maternity and infant mortality in developing countries. Dated this the 6th of May 2021, signed by Rotarian President Dr. Patrick Easy and Rotarian President Dr. John Amusa. Thank you.
Thank you very much, PPVJ. My TP John, I would like to call on you to give us the toast and close this meeting officially.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much, my president. So I would like to give a toast to all our, we love you, and we hope that you join us, to all our visiting guests.
To all our guests, thank you very much.
To our guests. I would like to call on IPDG Hassan to please give a toast to all visiting Rotarians present.
President Patrick and President John, my able DG and past district governors, we give this toast to all our visiting Rotarians from all the countries in Africa and India. Thanks for coming. We love you. Please continue to join us, and please don't forget to invite us to join your meeting. Thank you.
Thank you very much, my PDG, sir. I would like to call on PPVJ to please give a toast to the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Thank you, President. Hello, Rotarians and friends. Kindly join me for a toast to the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
To the Federal Republic of Nigeria. My TP Patrick, please, if you can please give a toast to. My TP Patrick, please give a toast to Republic of India.
I would like to toast to the Republic of India, a great country with a great many people whose commitment to health is extraordinary, and India continues to be a light to developing countries the world over. I toast to the Republic of India.
The Republic of India.
The Federal
Republic of India.
The Federal Republic of to the Republic of India. Okay, I would like our AG Jumoke, please, if you are there, to please give a toast to Rotary International and Rotarians the world over.
Thank you, TP John. I'll take this toast to Rotary International, the organization that has made it possible for all of us to interact, even as we're doing right now, to have friends, make friends all over the world. The organization that has helped us to carry out service above self in our communities. So I take this toast to Rotary International and to we wonderful Rotarians all over the world. To Rotary International and to Rotarians all over
the world.
Rotarians
The world. I would like our district governor-elect, DG Ayo Yedokun, to please respond to that toast.
The DG Ayo has left.
Oh, DG Ayo has left. Okay. I'll call on our PDG Mohan to please respond to that toast.
Toast on behalf of 1.2 million Rotarians across the world, 1.5 lakh Rotarians in India, and all the Rotarians in Nigeria. Like I mentioned earlier, that somebody had mentioned it very nicely, that is, a Rotarian is a friend that you have not yet met. And I've met so many friends today.
Yeah.
Toast to them, toast to all of them. Thank you so much for coming here and making it a very lively event. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, my PDG, sir. And I want to say a very big thank you to everybody who shared fellowship and love with us today. At 6:56 p.m., this meeting is hereby adjourned till next week, Thursday. Thank you, everybody, and have a good night.
Before you guys go,
thank you, everybody.
Good night.
Thank you.
It's been nice fellowshipping with all of you.
On behalf of Vijay, I invite you all to India.